Alright, so in this video we're going to be changing out an ignition coil on a 1994 Jeep Grand Cherokee with a 5.2 liter V8. There's nothing technically wrong with this coil. It does work, but as you can see, some of the laminations are just starting to corrode and come apart, and the coils are really cheap, so I figured just for good measure, let's swap it out before it becomes a problem. So I bought a new Delphi coil, and Delphi is an OEM supplier, so this should be pretty close to the coil that came with it from the factory. And I wouldn't be shocked or amazed if the coil that we take out also says Delphi on the side. So let's get our ratchet, let's go to work. Put the new coil back there for the time being. Alright, so you can see that there's two bolts on the coil that hold it on. There's one right here and right down there at the bottom. There's also an electrical connector right here. So those two bolts are 11 millimeter. I'm just going to take those off. Alright, so I got the old coil out. Actually, these are probably 1/2 inch bolts, not 11 millimeter, but that will work. Anyway, so here's the old coil here. Very similar to the new coil. Not an exact match, but pretty darn close. So let's go ahead and install it. Installation is the reverse of removal. What I also like to do is take a little bit of this dielectric grease. This stuff right here. A bunch of different brand names, but this is the stuff that I've been using by Permatex. Just put a little bit of that goo in here on that terminal just to prevent it from corroding. This one's 25 years old and I think it did pretty well. This one looks like it might be a Denso part just because it says Japan on there. Just a guess though. Alright, let's put everything back together. I also like to coat the threads of stuff with this anti-seize as I'm putting it back together. I just cleaned up these bolts that held the coil on. Just going to put a little bit of anti-seize on the ends of the threads. That helps lubricate things, and if you ever need to take it apart again, it'll be pretty easy. Alright, so I've got the new coil bolted in. I don't know, can't believe I said what I said before. I said 11 millimeter or 1/2 inch. It's 11 millimeter or 7/16. And 7/16 ended up being a better fit, so I'm just going to put some of that dielectric grease on the electrode and should be good to go.